All right, guys. Phenomenal morning. Listen, guys, I am so excited today. I say it every morning because I wake up every morning super excited, but I go through the day. I do certain things throughout pivotal moments of the day to build the excitement. Right. I want to let you know that like it's not just like you wake up jacked up. No, listen, guys, I do specific things throughout pivotal moments of every single day to reignite the flame. Reignite the flame. If you're writing right now, write that down. Reignite the flame. Sometimes people have dull moments, like lull moments. That's why I play the intro over and over again, Bobby. I give people time to wake up, right? We got to give people time to wake up to catch up, right? But I promise you guys, listen, there will be a time when it's too late. There will be a time when it's too late. So you want to make sure you wake up early, be on time, be early, be ready, keep your pens, keep your paper, and let's like really, really start off 2024 the right way. Anyway, guys, enough of the diatribe. I'm super excited. This is your Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Sean Wright East, flanked as always by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. Bobby Jackson, how you feeling this morning, man?
Man, feeling amazing. I love Reignite the Flame. I'm feeling laser focused. That's something that I woke up with is laser focused because there's a lot of distractions, all the time, constantly going on around us. And I think one of the responsibilities of the executive, the CEO, and the leader is to keep everyone on the team focused. And you can't do that if you're not focused. So that's what I.
That's right. That's right, guys. 7 days. Right. One of the reasons why I'm extremely excited because we've been working on something for the past 6-7 months, guys. As a matter of fact, watch this. So you are always building your next act. You're always building your next act. So let me say this. I've been working on this website for so long because my story is capitulated in the website. My entire story. So I was working on this before I even knew what I was doing, before I knew that I had a business, before I knew what I was going to be doing, flying, speaking, coaching, consulting. I was working on this so long. You're working on your Bible right now. You're literally writing a scripture. What will be your life story? Because I guarantee you, when you guys see this website, you're going to say, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to reveal things that you never knew about me. That you never knew. And the funny thing is that when I was 14, when I was 24, when I was 34, I didn't know that I was writing the story. I didn't know that I was living the story. And at some point it would become public and it would become like public domain. When I tell you that you are the brand and brand you, not what you do, you got to monitor your moments because your moments will be memorialized. If you do business correctly, and if you work with us, not if, but when, and as you do business correctly, your moments, your minutes will be memorialized. So you want to be very careful how you spend those and how you invest those. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when the website launches in just 7 days. Martin Luther King Day, guys. I'm extremely excited. We'll be right back. This is The Breakfast with the Brand. There's slow growth and then there's scale. There's incremental growth and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence. Add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaways just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
Yes, yes, yes. You're writing your story right now. You are literally, if you're here now, this is the part of your story. When you get off of here, when other people come to see you, when they interact with you, what will be the story? What will be the brand? What will they remember about you? What will they feel? Speak to that for a moment, Bobby, because you've learned the benefits of transferring the emotion. Watch this, guys. Emotion equals economy.
Yeah, I wrote down some interesting thoughts as you were talking about this. And one of the things that came to mind was master the moment by commanding the present. And that sparked another thought, which was habits rule the world, but discipline builds habits. And I think it's a very interesting dynamic of just being present, being in the moment, and then the emotion equals economy. It was so perfectly put together that sometimes our emotions can run our lives. They can dictate, they can bring up behaviors based on certain activities. So habits and all of these different things can be tied to emotions. So when I'm listening to this, reignite the flame, and I'm listening to the emotion equals the economy, the one thing that I keep thinking about is community. Because community is a great place to learn about different disciplines that are working for other people that you can leverage to improve your habits. And if you can improve your habits, habit of thinking, habit of being, and character, you can really master the moment and command the present. So that's what came to mind as I thought about the things that you were saying this morning.
Very good. Very good. So I want you to think about the emotion equals economy piece. And then, one thing that we do in the leadership leverage is I always ask people, what's the energy in the room? What's the energy like? What's the energy in the room? And listen, guys, you can always tell when the energy is low because people are off camera. Yeah. If that's you, you're telling on yourself. I don't have to say it. If we all get on a call together and you're off camera, your energy is low. It's obvious. And money follows movement. Money follows movement, and energy equals economy. So if your energy is low, if your emotion is low, your economy is not going to be high. Your pull, your gravitational pull, your magnetic is going to be low. Listen, I promise you, I've said this all over and over again. Money follows movement. Money follows movement. You want to become a living magnet to attract the things that you want. I'm not talking about no mumbo jumbo, hocus pocus law of attraction. Listen, there is a law of attraction, yes, but there's also a law of vibration. What is your energy? What is your frequency? Because that will determine what you attract, right? There's a law of attraction. And when people are living a life that's less or lack than they desire, why did you attract that? How did it happen? If the law of attraction is real, then how am I not successful? You're not successful because you don't think, eat, live, breathe, drink success. You don't do the habits. You don't do the internal work. You don't have the vibration. Vibration is low. When the vibration is low, the economy, listen, guys, when the vibration is low, the value is low.
Mhm.
Yeah, when the vibration is low, when the vibration is low, the value is low. And I'm going to say one more thing. Perception is reality. Perception is reality. So when your vibration is low, even if you know that you got all the value in the world, your vibration is low, your energy is low, you're off camera, you're not speaking up, you're not confident, you're not present. So the perception of you is that the value is low, so the revenue follows the perception. Profits and revenue follows perception.
Yeah, it's powerful, super powerful this morning. And it takes me back to running in the military, because we will call cadence. And you guys have probably seen this before. You know, Marines are running and they're like, left, right, leo. And you've probably heard that. And the reason we do that is because we want to get the energy up. And get the energy up of the battalion, we have things like left, left, right, left, and you have this cadence. And what happens is everybody screams left, right, left on the same foot. So what's happening is the foot is striking the deck, the voice is being projected, and everybody is in unison screaming to the top of their lungs. And what happens is you get to mile 4 and you still cruising. You're mile 5. Like, I should be hurting right now. Like, my body should be aching right now. But because of the energy in the unit and because of the vigor and force and power of the dynamic, you don't feel it. And I think it was John Maxwell who put in his book the 17 indisputable laws of teamwork. He said that when you're winning, nothing hurts. When you're winning, nothing hurts. And I think that winning is a vibration. Like, when you're winning, you see it on TV. And I'm passing it to Sean after this, but I want you to think about a basketball team or a football team that has the momentum, that has everything going for them. It's almost like everybody on the team is in sync, and then you start to see the other team just like get demolished. It's almost like they're sucking the life out of the other team simply because their energy is so high. And then that's why you have, I think, cheerleaders, and you have the stands and everybody's stumping and the cheerleaders are go, da, 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 go, go. It is a really transference of energy, and that transfer is very, very powerful. And I think we see it more than we pay attention to it in sports and military activity and stuff like that.
You know something, Bobby? What you said just made me think of soccer. What you said just made me think of soccer, because in soccer, they have these teams, and these teams do these screams and these chants, like the Maori, right? The Maori and the Polynesian and the Hawaiian teams, they do this screaming warrior dance and chant where they basically predict death upon their opponents. And literally, it's so interesting. It's like a warrior dance, and they go against one another. And usually the team that wins, or the unit, I love what you said, the unit that wins the screaming match, they win the energy match, they win the frequency match, they win the intimidation match, they win the confidence match, and then they end up scoring the most and ending the game. It usually follows that way. Right? So your frequency, your energy, your confidence will dictate your success. 1000%. Joel says singing, running, rhythm, cadence. It's repetition. I always say repetition deepens the impression. What is your routine? What is your routine? If you don't have a winning routine, you're not going to have a winning outcome. You know why teams do phenomenally? Not because of one or two players. So, and I'm not the sports guy. I'm not the sports guy. But Manning, what team did Manning play for? Bobby's not the sports guy either.
No, I'm not. But I believe he played for the Giants. And I believe, because there's two. There's Peyton Manning and there's Eli Manning. So it depends on which Manning you're talking about.
Okay, so either one. Watch this. They were winning. And they were winning not because how great and how phenomenal one player was, but how great and how phenomenal the team was. So watch this, guys. Pay very close attention. You can have a Jordan, you can have Scottie Pippen, and you can have all of these phenomenal players on the same team. But if you don't have cadence, if you don't have rhythm, if you don't have the right vibe or vibration, the right energy, the right frequency, harmony, like an orchestra, the routine, the patterns, the predictability, the scalability. I'm using a lot of words here, but I want you to understand it. It was almost musical. When you see a good team operate in unison, it's harmony, it's harmonious, it's musical, it's like an orchestra. It seems almost perfect. You know why? Because they planned it that way, right? They planned it that way. They're in sync. They're in sync. And when you hear me say I don't script, it's because I live in a sync with what you need to hear. It's been trained. The repetition has deepened the impression so long that it's become permanent, intrinsic, of course, instrumental, influential, but it's also become instinctive. Instinctive. So please don't think that when you see these harmonious players playing together in this perfect orchestra going on, that the opposing team is not trying to crush them and defeat them and demolish them, because they are. And these players are rising up to the level of the challenge and continuing to create a harmonious symphony of success. The question is, are you in sync? Is your vibration on point? Is your cadence right? Do you have a rhythm? Do you have sync? Because if you're not in sync, you're out of sync. And you know how you could just say, Bobby, like this was like days are off. This was a bad day. Like I don't have bad days. Of course, you know, the things show up to challenge you. You don't think that we don't face resistance, because we do. I know I do. But I always rise to the occasion, and it's kind of like riding the wave. You gotta be able to ride the wave of opposition and always rise to the occasion. And a lot of that has to do with, are you in sync? Can you respond? Can you roll with the punch? Roll with the punch. Share this out, guys, because somebody needs to hear this. I have a feeling that somebody really, really needs to hear this. Someone in your inner circle needs to understand the power of being in sync and waking up in tune. And if they're not in tune, then these little amplifiers are harmonious moments and precision moments where we're able to fine tune your frequency so that you can go out and you can dominate the day. Yeah. Yes, so that you can go out and dominate the day and deflect the pressure, because the onslaught is coming. That's a fact. Winter is here, depending on where you're at. Watch this. Winter is here, depending on where you're at. I didn't used to, I grew up in Harlem, as you know, so it was very cold in the winter, and they had these snowstorms sometimes that would leave like 3 feet of snow. It was unbelievable. It was torrential downpour of snow and rain. And I used to look out the window and I used to say, man, I don't really like the snow. And I can remember not rising to the occasion of structural stratification and the things that were going on in society, the lack of leadership. I can remember not having the examples of excellence and wondering, how can I overcome this stuff? Because I really don't like the cold. I had to get in sync. I had to change my frequency. Sometimes the frequency of your surroundings won't match it won't be harmonious with where you want to go. And the harmony or the disharmony, right? Because that's what it was. The disharmony of the ghetto did not agree with my internal frequency. So I changed it. I changed my internal operating system. And because I changed my internal operating system, guys, I was able to change my external circumstances. And guess what now? I can't remember the last time I experienced snow, like literally on my hands. Why? Because I get to dictate and choose when or if I see snow. I used to tell people I follow the sun. People ask me all the time, where do you live, Sean? Where do you stay? I say, I stay wherever the sun shines. Oh, yes, I still love New York, but I stay wherever the sun shines. So if that's Myrtle Beach, if that's Miami, if that's California, I choose the sun. What do you choose? Listen, guys, it's so beautiful to have an opinion and be able to afford your opinion. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the snow. Some people love it. It just doesn't happen to be, it doesn't vibrate. It's not harmonious with my frequency. You want to be able to afford your opinion and change your external circumstances. And the way you do that is with your internal frequency. Oh, Bobby, this is powerful, man.
It is. It is. Like
this is powerful. I know we hitting you early in the morning. I'm trying to get you into one thing I want to say before we go to the break, right? Is harmony, disharmony. Okay, so let me start here. Disharmony it's contagious. All it takes, you've heard the story, all it takes is one bad apple to spoil the bunch. All it takes is for you to entertain negativity and you can become negative in degrees. All it takes is a little bit of time and proximity. That's why proximity to power is so powerful, right? Proximity to power is so powerful because when you come around it, you feel better. You begin to, like, I've had people come around me and lose their cough, lose their sniffle because of the energy and the frequency that we have. And Bobby said something about the unit, the power of the unit. And when he said that, I wrote it down because I heard the unit in the word community. The power of the unit, the energy of the unit. What is the energy in your community? That's a real question. I want you to think about it, dwell on it this morning. What is the power? What is the energy? What is the frequency of your community? And if you're in the wrong one, your outcomes are probably much less than they could be. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. We'll be right back. Let's grow. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Sean Rais. I'm proud. I said Sean Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving
demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
Man, there was so much there, like so much from the frequency management piece to the harmony, disharmony, the orchestra. Like I just wrote down so many things, but the image that came to my mind, the image was, I remember when COVID-19 hit in the military. And I want to share the mentality, the frequency of the Marine Corps. When COVID-19 hit, the Marines had the audacity. We put up images of ourselves as Marines with bayonets on the end of rifles stabbing the COVID-19 germ, saying death to COVID-19. And we posted this everywhere. It was on the bathrooms, it was on the hallways, it was on doors. And when we walked past it, we saw a physical animation of the spirit of the United States Marine taking over an invisible airborne enemy. And our psychology was, if you come into this environment, you gotta get it. You gotta get it. And I remember that so profoundly because it made me think about healthy people don't get sick. Healthy people rarely get sick. They say that there's this phenomenon about doctors, and the doctors can be in the same vicinity as the same germs as most other people and just not be as susceptible. And what they deduce that to is simple mindset. Are they receptive? What frequency are they vibrating at? And I'm not necessarily the deepest person on this, but I would venture to say that certain frequencies, a low frequency is more susceptible to negativity than a high frequency. Maybe a low frequency is more susceptible to negative impacts. What do they say? When the wealthy get sick, the poor catch a flu. That's what they say.
Woo!
Wealthy catch a cold, the poor get the flu.
Oh, come on.
What we're really saying when we say that is that if I have a wealthy mentality, I have a wealthy bank account, a nice-sized wallet, I've got wealthy relationships, my support systems are strong. Let's say there's a economic downturn. I might have to drive one of my 3 cars a little bit less. I might have to, maybe spend a little more time with my kids personally. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but let's say you normally put them in school or something like that. Like you might just have to change a few things, but you're so wealthy, your mindset is so impenetrable that you're okay. But let's say you're the poor individual and now you lose your car. Like you lose your job, you lose your car, you're on the bus now, your kids can't go to daycare, so you can't work. And now your kids are at home, you're stressed out, you can't work, the bus fare is running low, and you're pretty much experiencing the same thing they experienced, but to you, it's pneumonia. And to them, it's give me some vitamin C and I'll be back. I'll be back in a week. So I wanted to say that being in the right state of mind, and this was something we talked about last year quite a bit, being in the right state of mind, being in the right, operating at the right frequency, and having what I'm calling now frequency management. Maybe we use this term vertently or inadvertently, but I think frequency management's important. And how you do that might be different for each of us. But personally, I know I do meditation, I do breath work, I do prayer, and I do affirmations. And those are my 4 things that I do in the morning. And I do them in a harmonic order. Like I don't switch the order. I'll share it with you. It's prayer first, and then it's my affirmation second, then it's my meditation, and then it's my breath work. And that's just the way I do it in that order every time. And what I'm doing by the time I'm finished is I've prayed, I've got my mind right, I've set my affirmations, I've set the intention for the day. I then meditate to get myself present. And then I do breath work to synchronize my breathing, synchronize my thinking, and I go into my day, which is normally following with a workout. I begin to sweat at that point to introduce myself to pain, stress, and pressure. And then I go attack the rest of the day.
Okay. Listen, guys, what Bobby said was extremely, extremely powerful, right? Synchronization, the definition of synchronization is the operation or activity of two or more things at the same time or rate. And I learned this from Bob Proctor years ago. He said that money has a frequency. There's a frequency. Money has a frequency. So I believe that all things are in the spirit. So that's why I say, you'll hear me say all the time, business is a spiritual game, right? And you got to understand material. Like material, there's air in between, there's ether, there's energy in between matter, what you see as matter. So protons, neutrons, and electrons, there's an energy, there's a frequency, there's a music, there's a music, there's a method, there's a harmony. And when you're vibrating at a certain level, you have to understand that money vibrates at a certain level too. Yes, your clients vibrate at a certain level. And when you're vibrating down here and your clients are vibrating up here and your money is vibrating up here and your success is vibrating up here, never the twain shall meet. Why? Because you're in discord instead of accord. You know how they say strike a chord? So you're either in discord or accord with that which you're trying to attract. You're trying to attract success. You're trying to attract these things, but you're not doing the things that bring your frequency into harmony to be made for one another or to be in sync with one another. So watch this. The operation or activity of two or more things at the same time or rate. So money's activating. It's just not coming to you. Clients are activating. They're saying yes to somebody. Somebody's collecting. Just not you, because you're operating at this frequency and your success is operating at this frequency. So you got to change some things. And a lot of people heard me say, change your attire to match your desire, but you could put a suit on a monkey. It's still a monkey in a suit. So it's not the suit. It's the person wearing the suit. Just like it's not the course. It's not the information in the course that doesn't work. It's the person that's trying to operate the course. Material that doesn't work. It's not on the same frequency. So when I hear people say, you know, I've been through this course and this many courses and this many coaches, and I've been through these many different communities and none of it is working, and I went to college and I got a master's degree and that isn't working and this isn't working and my relationship isn't working and my health isn't working. I'm like, Bobby just said, healthy people don't get sick. So COVID had a frequency. Lack has a frequency. Abundance has a frequency. And once you once you're keyed in, sync. As long as you don't tune out, which means as long as you continue to do the same things that put you in that vibration. Bobby mentioned a couple of them. I wrote down a couple of things. So if you want to bring up your frequency, if your frequency is low and you want to bring it up, bring your vibration up, there's a couple things that you might want to do. Wake up early is one of them. Wake up early in the morning is one of them. Exercise, move. Money follows movement. Your rate means movement. Rate means speed. Your rate of movement. Exercise. Get your heart beating. I've heard that disease can't live in an oxygenated body. I practice that, but you're not bringing in deep enough oxygen because you're not moving enough. You're not exasperated. You're not stressing yourself. So you're not growing because you're not placing stress on the muscles, stress on the mind. Water. Drink water, frequency, H2O, drink a lot of it, drink enough of it, eat healthy. We want the frequency, we want the things that we We want the things that we say we want, but we don't want to do the things that attract the things that we say we want. So our words and our actions are out of harmony. They're out of sync, right? We say we want more money. Well, you know where money comes from. Money doesn't come from, it's built from trees, but it comes from people. And the way you get it is by adding value. So you have to add value to people in order to receive that. And how do people find out about the value that you provide? It's called the marketplace for a reason. You have to market. You have to come to the market. If you sell tomatoes and the organic stand opens up at 9 o'clock in the morning and you're showing up at 11, you missed the crowd. You missed the crowd. You're missing the marketplace, guys. If you're not speaking, if you're not really coaching, if you're not really going live and helping people, then how do people know that you can help them? When you're not marketing. You have to be, watch this, active. Think about the word active and think about the word octave. The octave is a frequency. Active is a state. And then you bring your state of being to your state of activity. A lot of people do the things, but they don't do the things in the right state or in the right chord. So when you do it, it doesn't work. But when Sean Rais does it, it goes through the roof. And you're like, well, I went live. I'm going live. It's just not clicking. No, you're just not clicking. Because if Bobby Jackson can go 400% revenue increase, you know what you can do? Go 400% revenue increase. But you know what you're not? You might not be in the right unit, the right community, the right unity. You might not be in the right unit. You might not be in the right space to do the 400%. And if you're in the right community, then you might not be in the right chord or the right frequency or the right vibration. You might need to wake up earlier. That's what I had to do. You know what I did, Bobby? I found myself in college with a job, full-time parent, full-time father, still working out, got to work out, all of these things. And I'm like, hold on, I don't have enough time. Guys, you ever felt like you could use another additional hour or two at 24? Maybe if you 24 became 26? I said I found myself saying something that did not resonate. Think of the word resonate. Resonation. It did not agree with my frequency. I heard myself saying and feeling like there wasn't enough time. I needed more time. So you know what I did? I didn't accept that. It was unacceptable to me. I said, if I'm getting up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock and I need more time, then I need to get up at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, or sometimes even 2 o'clock. Because if you're the creator of your circumstance, you create your circumstances. So you know what I did? I gave myself more time. And then I said, you know what I got to do, like to make it exponential, Bobby? I said, I got to make enough money to hire someone because I can borrow or buy time. That's the magic position. Now you put yourself in the exponential position and you're like, hold on. Some people have 24 hours in a day, but some people have employees. So they have 8 times the people. So if you got 10 people, you just bought 80 hours a day on top of your 24. So now you're free. And now you're in harmony. Now your wife smiles more. Now your children smiles more. Now it doesn't sound like chaos. You know that humming sound that comes when you're discontent, that you don't feel that lack of frequency anymore. Now it's musical, it's melodic. You know how was this Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? You know how the movies used to be in Disney when the birds would be singing and the butterflies would be flying by and it was almost like the caterpillars were smiling. You can create harmony in your life if you put yourself in the right frequency. However, and we're going to go to a break and come back in a moment, but however, if you allow society, TV, paranoia, pandemic, fear, scarcity, to the media, for God's sakes, to dictate your frequency, get used to insanity. because that's where you'll be. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Sean's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Sean is the bomb.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Raiz. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
Man, attune to the right frequency. That's all I could think of, is attune to the right frequency. It made me think about being in the military and radio frequencies that we would have. So we call them channels, right? So if I'm on the right channel, I'm communicating to the right person on the other side. So there's multiple channels that you can have, all of them using the same ether, so to speak, the same space, right? But the way this really works is, let's say I've got my machine gunners, and then I've got my air crew, and then I've got the people that are running the chow. All of those people are on different frequencies. Now, the trick is, what frequency are they on? And do you know that frequency? And if you know the frequency, you can set the frequency and you can reach out to them and they'll talk back. We call this communication, right? So the interesting thing is, what are, for me personally, without getting too deep, like I don't think I knew what frequency money was on before I got into business, like the frequency of attracting money through business. In other words, I knew how to make money as an employee, but I didn't necessarily know how to make money as a business owner, because the reality is these were two different frequencies. As a employee, I'm trading my time for money. And I knew how to do that. I knew what frequency to channel time through. I knew how to position myself in front of the right people in order to get money for time. But what I didn't know was what frequency to set for value, because that's the difference. Because if I'm trading time, then I'm setting at a time frequency. If I'm trading value, I need to be set at a value frequency.
Come on.
What Branded Like a Leader did for me was it showed me the first steps of setting the frequency. So it was almost like a dial. So I did Branded Like a Leader, and then I turned the dial further away from trading time to creating value. Then I got into Coaching Like a Leader, and I turned the dial a little bit more to, okay, now I can create value. So first it was understanding my own intrinsic value. Brand you, not what you do. So I turned the dial. Then it was coaching. Okay, you need a medium for actually converting the value that is within yourself to the people that need to receive it. So that's what coaching did for me. And then it was Closing Like a Leader. So I needed a means for transmission. So I need to be able to facilitate the transaction. So then I learned Closing Like a Leader. And that's how I was able to change my frequency from time trading to value trading. And when I was trading value, I knew that the value was intrinsic to me And if I had a medium for translating this value, such as coaching, consulting, or courses, the other aspect that I would need would simply be a transmitter, an ability to transmit this value and get something back in return. We would say, Roger, Roger, this is Mike calling out to ABC. And they would say, loud and clear, over. Pretty much, this is me saying, hey, I've got this phenomenal product. I understand that this is your issue. Would you like to have this solution? And they would say, Roger, I would love this solution. How much does this solution cost? And that would be the facilitation of the transaction. So I thought that it was very interesting that we were able to use this frequency, this whole radio wave, musical, melodic approach to discussing business, because it is so, so spiritual and analogous.
Very good, man. You know, it brings a smile to the soul when you have a student who can, the word that I'm looking for is animate. Animate. Something that you've been trying to teach and get through to people, right? So Bobby just brought it to life in a way that should make it very easy for you to understand. I can remember my father listening to 10-10 Wins. Now, you gotta like, that's old. 10-10 Wins. He had the frequency, guys. And if he went a little to the left, he'd be off the frequency. And if he went a little to the right, he'd be off frequency. But he would tune right in and get the news play by play as it was happening. And what Bobby's talking about is being keyed into the right frequency. And I love how he said he turned the dial and went from branding and intrinsic value to coaching like a leader and translating the value to closing like a leader and communicating the value and then dictating the reciprocity, the receipt, the receiver. Communication is a giver and a receiver, a sender and a receiver. There's interpretation that takes place on the receiving end, guys. So of course you want money. Of course you want to be free. Of course you want to be able to afford your opinion, but wants and reality are not always in sync or in alignment. And the way you get them in alignment is by putting yourself in the right community first, and then in the right frequency, the right decibel. The right decibel. Now, Bobby resonates at a consistent frequency all the time, as do high performers. So you want to put yourself in that frequency of high performance. Or the alternative is low performance. And you know intrinsically, you know inside of yourself whether you're operating, resonating, calibrating at a high frequency or a low frequency, high performance or low performance. And sometimes you just need a piano tuner because you think you're playing the right keys, but you're not. And sometimes it takes a master ear to come in and listen and say, the frequency is off. All you need to do is X, and you'll add a 0 to your number. All you need to do is, wait, hold on. Let me go inside and show you on the inside. This is what you need to do on the inside. Why? Because I've been here for a little while. I know what I'm doing. I'm trained. It's evidence-based. Hold on. Watch this. And now the birds are chirping. Now the clients are coming and they're saying yes to you now. It's harmonious. Zeros are being added to your bank account regularly. You're making it rain, but you enjoy it. It's so beautiful when a plan really, really comes together. So listen, guys, I've been talking about the website coming in 7 days. You already know what that looks like. And I also gave an announcement yesterday that we needed to do something together off the Zoom and in the room in person so I can communicate more effectively and like transfer the energy hands-on. It's a little bit different when there's a screen in between. You get the frequency, you get the energy, you get the picture, you get the emotion. But I promise you, in the room, there's nothing like proximity. Nothing like the in-person experience. So I said I was going to put something together. Watch how fast we respond. Watch how fast we react. I said I was going to put my team on notice. I put my team on notice. They're putting it together. The launch of the website will come with the announcement of the location. That's right. The launch of the website will come with the date and the location of the first of many in-person events where you can get off the Zoom and in the room and bring your perhaps low frequency or low vibration into a community and area of higher atmosphere. I'm going to give you a clue. I'm not going to say it. You'll learn in 7 days. But I'm going to give you a clue as to where it just might be. How am I going to give it to you? Okay. Let me say it this way. Get your passport ready. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. Let's grow.